In my last video, I spoke about the Canadian tourist visa application and specifically on the supporting documents you need to include with your Canada visitor visa application. In today's video, I'm going to dive a little deeper into what you could include in your Canadian tourist visa cover letter. Why is it important to include a cover letter with your Canadian tourist visa application letter? So for starters, unlike other embassies such as the US Embassy or the Schengen territory countries, with the Canadian Embassy, you do not get a chance to speak to a visa officer. So they are 100% reliant on the documents that you submit in support of your tourist visa application. And that's why in my last video and even on this one, I highly encourage you to include a cover letter with your Canadian tourist visa application as one of the supporting documents. You want to stick up to the very end of this video so you can learn more. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome, karibu. My name is 𝙏𝙘𝙧 and this is Travel with 𝙏𝙘𝙧, your #1 YouTube channel for all things visas, travel, immigration, working abroad, living abroad, and studying abroad. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and also hit the notification bell so that every single time I shoot a new video, you do not miss out. Without much further ado, let's look at some of those things you want to make sure you include in your Canadian tourist visa application cover letter. Generally, what do you include in your tourist visa application cover letter? In summary, just include everything that you would speak to the visa officer handling your case if you got a chance to speak to them face to face, and make sure that you answer any potential question that you think they would ask about your application. Number one, make sure that you answer the question of intent. Remember, the first issue the visa officer has to deal with when they get your visa application is to prove that indeed you are a genuine tourist, and on top of that, you intend to leave Canada at the expiry of your visa or at the expiry of the period you are given to stay in Canada, and that you have strong economic ties back home that will ensure that you go back. And that's the first issue, therefore, you want to address in the opening of your Canadian tourist visa application cover letter. So start of course by introducing yourself. My name is 𝙏𝙬𝙧. Sorry guys about this one. So start off, for example, with my name is 𝙏𝙬𝙧 and blah blah blah. Talk about things that tie you to your home country. If you are a mom, state that. If you are a wife, state that. If you're a husband, state that. If you're a dad, state that. If you have elderly relatives, elderly parents to take care of, mention that. If you have any businesses going on for you, talk about that. Talk about your job and mention how much you really love it and enjoy it, how long you have been there, your career prospects, and all things that somebody reading your introduction will see that indeed you have strong ties to your home country and you have absolutely no reason why you would want to stay in Canada. Number two, talk about the appeal of Canada. Why is Canada your destination of choice? There's 193 countries out there. Why Canada? Yeah? So you can talk about the nature, the beautiful lakes. You can talk about the multicultural nature of Canada. You can talk about their tolerance. You know, we live in a world where there's so much intolerance, but Canada is one of those countries that is very high in terms of tolerance. You can talk about the world wonders. For example, we have the Niagara Falls. You can talk about wanting to experience snow, especially if, let's say, your travel is gonna fall in the winter period. If you are a solo traveler, you can talk about why you think Canada is a safe country, especially for you as a solo female or a solo male or as a first-time traveler. So mention all those things that make Canada appealing to you, and a quick Google search will give you some of the pointers that you need why a lot of tourists are flocking to Canada. And then number three, mention the places you intend to visit and the reason why. The ability to quarantine is one of those. the destinations you're going to be staying at, and if possible, look at those offbeat destinations that can allow you to quarantine in the event that it is called for. Yeah, so you can talk about, I'm gonna be staying in Timmins, for example, because it's an offbeat destination, and should I need to quarantine, it allows me to do that. And then you also want to talk about you being fully vaccinated, and not just being vaccinated. Mention what vaccines you have been vaccinated against. If, let's say, you have done the AstraZeneca that needs 2 vaccines, mention that and when you are vaccinated for them. If you went for Johnson, for example, that just requires 1 vaccine, mention that and the date, and mention how the fact that you are vaccinated makes you less risky to infect fellow travelers or fellow people you're gonna meet within your travels. And also, should you, God forbid, you get COVID, then the impact to your health will be more bearable for you. And also talk about the things you have attached, for example, your bank statement, your COVID certificate, all things that will show that you have ties with your home country. And then, of course, you want to mention why you are traveling to Canada at this point. So, for example, if you are a first-time traveler, you can mention that in the past you have been unable to travel because of your financial situation, but in the last 2 years you were able to get a better job and to save more, and now you're in a better position to travel. You can also mention the fact that you plan to travel in 2020, for example, but because of the COVID situation, you had to postpone your plans. You can talk about your previous job not having sufficient combined leave days, but now your current job allows for that because of the flexibilities of the job, and also the fact that your manager is in support of your application. And that's where your employer's reference letter comes handy. It shows that your employer is in support of your application and that they are waiting to receive you when you come back from your trip. If you are a frequent traveler, mention that, as is evident on the attached visa copies, I have traveled to X number of countries and always returned home without overstaying my visit. Having said that, let's take a look at a sample cover letter, and I'm gonna show you using a Schengen visa application. And the reason I'm doing is that you all don't end up having the same visa cover letter going to the embassies from different people. This is a sample cover letter for a Schengen tourist visa application, but it will serve our purpose. We have the date here. We have addressed to the Honorable Consul, dear sir, madam. Of course, reference, you will put maybe application for multiple entry Canadian tourist visa. Good day. Your introduction. My name is 𝙏𝙼𝙪, a wonderful mom to 15 adorable boys. Currently the biggest travel content creator in Africa and also a humanitarian worker. I would like to apply for a 5-year multiple entry France visa for my separate planned visits over the years, beginning with a trip in October this year. The main purpose of my travels will be tourism. I have always been fascinated by the French culture, architecture, history, and food. On this trip, I am especially excited to see France right about winter time, as I've never experienced it before. I am also applying for a longer-term multiple entry visa as part of my bucket list quest to see France and other Schengen territory countries through the different seasons. Additionally, Paris has proven to be a great and more affordable gateway for exploring other countries in Europe, Americas, and surprisingly, even some parts of Africa. The Schengen visa also grants me access to other countries that I would ordinarily have required a visa to visit, hence time and cost savings, especially since, as a travel blogger and vlogger, travel informs much of my content. Over the years, I have traveled internationally to many countries, and I have never overstayed my visa but always returned home. I would also like to mention that I was vaccinated against COVID with the Johnson vaccine on October 20th, 2021, which is in line with the 14-day travel policy for Schengen visa application, making it less risky for both me and others I will meet on my travels. Attached to this application, please find my flight itinerary, Paris hotel booking confirmation. The others will be booked as I visit the other countries and cities as per attached itinerary, pay slips, employer letter,
KRA tax returns, business registration certificate, salary account bank statement, as well as my savings account bank statement, and Google AdSense payment account, as well as my COVID-19 vaccination certificate. Thank you, and I look forward to a favorable response. Sincerely, 𝙏𝙗𝙪, and you can see right here, I have a detailed itinerary. Day 1, I have a date, and I'm talking about the city and the detailed activities I expect to undertake in morning, afternoon, and evening, including the hotel. This just shows the visa consular handling your case, that indeed you have thought out your itinerary when in the country. And you can see for dates when I'm not sure, I know I'm going to be in southern France, and the details are to be confirmed, all these, and then fly back to Nairobi. So you want to tailor your itinerary, your cover letter to your particular situation.
Well guys, that's it for today in terms of what to include in your Canadian tourist visa application cover letter. As usual, if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a sweet comment below, and share it with all other people that might also find it useful. Thank you for staying up to the very end of this video. I definitely look forward to meeting you on the next one. Bye guys.